Hello everyone, thank you for joining today. I hope you are having all a good day. As you may have seen, the forex market is suffering a little bit this week because of the low volume that is in the market, and also we are looking at also some problems that is related with volume because all the economic calendar was empty for this week. As I have shared also during these days, this week was almost empty. Main of the major events related with FOMC, ACB, Bank of Canada were during the previous week, and all this week didn't have anything interesting at all. The only one was the Bank of Canada, the Bank of Australia with the interest rate decision. It was just a speculative movement because overall it was expected from the Bank of Australia to increase the interest rates in this number, so they increased by 0.25% or 25 basis point. The reason is simple because they pointed out this problem also before, that they are going to slow down with the interest rates. At the end of the day, for everything it is needed a lot of time to recover, mainly with the interest rates and the impact that they transmit in the inflation numbers. As you may see, also today it was empty, all the economic calendar here. Tomorrow we are going to have something that is related with the monetary policy statement from the Bank of England. However, it is not expecting anything interesting at all also here, but we have to be careful. And only on Friday we have something related with the Bank of Australia. Overall, the monetary policy statement is something that it's known from their side, so it is not expected very high volume in the market. And also we have also the CPI data from China. This is what we have to be careful during this moment, because the data related with China, they are going to impact directly the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So this is what we have to be very careful. The next part on Friday is related with the GDP from the UK, and later on the day we have the employment data from Canada. So only Friday is a bit interesting, and for the moment everything is just moving up and down. So we are not having anything interesting at all. So let's get back to our charts right now. We are going to look at the dollar index. What is very interesting is that we are looking at the dollar to move up and down because of FOMC. But as we have seen several times, the FOMC and all the other countries are just repeating the same things, that they are recovering, inflation is just getting normal, but overall it is needed a lot of time in order to get back to 2 or 2.5% as it is required. The speculation is still high. I don't think that euro is stronger than the dollar. We have seen that the GDP numbers are still strong related with the US dollar. We saw that the employment data related with non-farm payrolls were more than double during Friday. So they are just increasing all the economic numbers. So in my opinion, the US economy is very strong. It is not giving up despite the fact that they are increasing the interest rates. Inflation is slowing down, but the other indicators are still showing to be very, very strong. But what is happening from the technical perspective? So this is important on our side. Just a minute. I want to see the messages. Thank you to everyone that already joined. Let's see what is happening with the dollar index beginning. As you may see, since at the beginning of November, this is the beginning of November, price is just moving in this type of descending channel pattern. For the moment, the chances are very high that price may increase from this point, since when the price was moving at the lower part of this zone, I was looking at for potential bullish movement. So on the daily chart, we may see that price created a bounce from the support. We had another one that came in this way in an ABC pattern. This is how the price increased, and also this time it was expected something similar. But what happened is that price continued to move close to the support line. We can see another move down that was a speculation related with FOMC, and after that the price created the expected movement. Overall, it was in line with what we were expecting. I have explained all of this chart during the previous times. As you may see, for the dollar index, I have pointed out some support and resistance areas. Since when the price increased from, this was the end of FOMC, we had the ACB at this point, and all the next movement was related with the non-farm payroll data. So what is happening? When price came close to 104, this was a very strong zone, and it was normal for the price to create this type of sell-off at this moment. The first movement that I was expecting was close to 102.8, but all of these zones are very strong right now. The reason is because we can be probably to the end of the movement. This was the first impulsive movement. We may see some reaction close to this zone, and probably the bullish wave will come soon. However, we have to be very careful because it is not supposed that this wave probably finish here. We may see also another correction that might be deeper at this point, and after that the price may increase again. However, for the moment, I'm looking at all of this part as a potential corrective movement before the US dollar will become stronger. So this is what I'm looking at. If you followed everything since when the price was developing within this zone, everything is in line with the expectations. Also, this part here was one of the scenarios. So it is not the problem with the small deviations, but we have to be clear what is happening on the bigger picture with the price and how we can initiate our trade. So this is what the dollar index is showing for the moment with the current data. Let's see what is going to happen. It may change again, so we can't rule out the different possibilities that may come during the coming days. We have to see how the price will create the bearish correction, but the chances are very high that we are close to the end of this movement and the bullish breakout may happen very soon. So let's see. The worst scenario that may happen, but I don't see this scenario right now for different reasons, is that probably the price can continue with this movement. So also this might happen here, but I'm not sure about the bearish move at this point. So let's go back on the first one, that is gold. This is looking very interesting from the technical perspective. During the previous week, I shared something related with gold. Just one moment. It was this head and shoulder pattern. It was a potential pattern because it was not completed yet during that moment. And what happened? Happened the fact that price created just a fast breakout close to the top, and after that, after many traders were stuck in this structure, price moved lower at this point. So it was very aggressive sell-off. However, considering how the price invalidated the previous pattern, it was possible considering those previous movements. In the current situation, we are at this pattern that was transformed. Considering many factors that I'm looking from the lower part of the structure, so price was rising at this point, and all of this movement that already happened is related with many data as well. So if we are going to look back in time, as we all know, gold is also known as a value holder related with the inflation numbers. But as long as the inflation numbers are slowing down, I don't think that there is any strong reason for gold to continue rising more at this point. What we have seen is that the FOMC and also non-farm payroll data and also ACB, they just created a clear picture related with the overall market conditions. That is why we saw this fast sell-off at this moment. But what is going to happen is that price is just accumulating volume at this point. I'm not looking at for the price to create any other high. We are not market makers, so that is why are the stop losses that are positioned in critical areas. However, what I'm looking at is that price has to create somehow this type of corrective pattern that it can take the shape in different ways. I'm looking at for this type of channel. It can end up as type of triangle in different ways. And after that, we may see the bearish move to continue lower. If I'm going back on the daily chart, you will see something very interesting. If we are going to come close to this top, this is March 22. So this was the top related with the all-time high of inflation. And what happened was the problem that gold moved on the opposite side of inflation. However, the recovery was very fast because we are also dealing with speculation. Now we are having inflation to slowing down, so it comes in line with gold development. And here we have these strong candles that are taking this shape. Look at how beautiful are these two candles that are just showing a very strong sell-off. The last three candles, as you may see, they have very slow volume, and probably it may happen something similar with these candles here. So this was the bullish movement, small correction, and the bullish movement. Here we had the first movement, correction, and the next movement. In my opinion, the chances are very high. We just don't have to miss the opportunity to sell gold. So let's focus on these areas. I'm looking at for targets on the lower part of these structures. These are 4-hour structures, so it makes sense that if price is going to come close to these areas, these are going to be also profit-taking areas from the sellers. I don't think that many of the sellers from this point will want to leave the profits open if gold is going to come close to 1,800 or probably at 1,790 at this point. It's a huge move if price is going to move there. So from all of these movements, we may see also deep corrections as well. So let's see what the market will bring. Thank you so much for joining. So overall, as you may see, the dollar is showing its strength finally, and this is in line with the expectation that I'm looking at on the dollar index. And now we are going to look at back also on Euro USD. Also on Euro USD, it makes sense that the price will create something similar with what we are actually looking at here. I'm going to break this down since the previous analysis. I was expecting for price to finish the movement close to the first support area, first resistance area, sorry. But what happened is that the market speculation related with FOMC that was in January and also the European Central Bank stopped the movement at this point. Is slowing down, but we didn't see the bearish movement. So the price was just pushing up with very small volume. So it came close to this area. At this moment, as you may see, the bullish movement began in September and it ended up in February. And all of this movement for the daily chart is approximately 1,450 pips or something more, 1,500. In my opinion, it's a very large correction, a very large wave without taking a break. During the way down, as you may see, price created these deep corrections, and all these deep corrections are not small at all. These are 500 points. At this moment, we can see a next one 400. So each of them is big as correction. On the other hand, we may see that when the price began the bullish movement, created only these small corrections. These are very small, 250 pips, 200 and something more. So nothing was big, and as a minimum, as I see, we should have a 500 pips correction again. So this is what I'm looking at overall here. However, also this correction is small. The overall picture should be in this way, what I'm expecting for the Euro USD. However, for the moment, we are in a correction time. So we should see Euro USD to correct lower again. On the 4-hour chart that I'm looking at Euro USD, it is getting very interesting. The upper part of the structure is very clear and it looks like gold according to price development here. We saw FOMC that created this bullish wave. After that, price came down. We had ACB. Price almost didn't move at all at this point, small movements. And later on, we had non-farm payroll data that gave to the US economy a stronger and clear picture. And that is why I am expecting right now that, considering FOMC that is showing that the US economy is recovering, the GDP data are very good, non-farm payroll data are very good, inflation is slowing down. On the other hand, the economy is not slowing down at all. Also, Powell said that we need at least 2 years in order to recover the inflation and to move the inflation back where it was before, close to 2 and 2.5%. And I think that that is normal because the economy is not going to change so easily as everyone may think. So it will be required time. But what will happen right now? So considering that the US economy is strong, the support is strong from the Fed, as you may see, price is already correcting here. This correction can take different shapes. What it matters is that we are just waiting for correction. It can be like this. It can be something bigger, and after that it can dump here. But what matters is that as a minimum, we should see the price to take a pause, and after that, the bearish movement will be very, very strong. The first structure zone where the price will face a minor support will be close to 1.0620 that I'm looking at. And the next one, if this zone is not going to hold, the strongest one will be close to 1.05. This is also a strong psychological zone, and the overall movement from top to this bottom will be approximately 500 pips. So also this is in line with what happened before. However, we are going to look the process step by step. It can move also lower, but these are the two areas that I'm actually looking at for potential development of Euro USD. So let's see how the price will develop here, and we can take the trade on a lower time frame. For the moment, I don't think that Euro USD is ready to continue the bearish movement, so it will be required some volume. And these days we are suffering a lot with the trading volume on the market. For example, today almost all the currency pairs didn't move more than 20 to 30 pips. After the US session, the market began to move. On Euro USD, we may see that we don't have any clear picture and the price didn't move at all. So these are 35, 40 pips all the morning and the evening as well. So let's see what is going to happen, but we are looking at that the US dollar is showing to be strong. The next one that we are going to look at is USDCHF. This is very interesting in my opinion. If we are going to look at this on the daily time frame, we may see that price came down since November as well. So this is showing approximately the same pattern like DXY. It is just moving down, down, down. And here we have on the lower part of the structure, as I have shared also the analysis before, we may see that price already found support on the past. So this is very interesting from the technical perspective. All of these areas are showing that we have buyers at this zone. These are the buyers that are joining here all the time. It was on January 22, November 21. Here we have August 21, so very old area with strong interest on the long opportunities, as you may see. And here we have our zone where the price already stopped here. So this is our area, and here we have the buyer zone as well. If we are going to look at what is happening on the 4-hour time frame, you may see that price came close in this way. So all of this brown area here that was a strong zone of interest from the buyers is showing to be very strong in 2 points this time. I don't think that USDCHF is going to test the bottom again, but even if the price is going to create this possibility, the chances are very high again that we may see a bullish movement. This is also in line with the expectations that we are looking at from the dollar index. So this is the movement that I'm actually looking at. The first impulsive movement was done. We may see the B movement, and the C wave should be on the upper side as well. We don't have any data at all when the price will begin this movement here. It's very small price correction. It may develop a bit more. We can't know when the price will end this correction, but as I see, the chances are very high for this movement. For the change in trend, that probably USD-CHF can increase farther from this point, so it can test also higher zones, as we may see from the left part of the structure. The chances are very high, but in order for the price to create that movement as beginning, it has to bounce above the pattern, and after that it will continue with the bullish movement. So this is overall the bigger picture that I'm looking at for the US dollar, my expectations, and why I'm looking at overall that USD is going to be strong during this period of time. So we just have to be patient, and probably the market will begin the movement during the next week. This week is just going to be very boring, as I'm looking at, because we are not having at all any good trading opportunity. So if you don't see any opportunity to trade, probably it is better not to trade at all. Or probably you can find any scalp trades in order to not to lose focus from the charts, but you should not trade actively as usual. So I hope you guys found this information useful. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the like button for more future contents. Thank you so much. Bye bye.